Watch me transform these trousers from this to a clean, tailored fit. These trousers actually used to be a jumpsuit, but the jumpsuit itself didn't fit me properly on the top half. So I thought I'll cut off the top and keep the bottoms because it's such a nice color and such a nice fit. So what I'm going to be doing is, as it's pretty long, I'm going to be taking off 6 inches from the bottom, tidying up the waistband, and then adding a zip on the back. And this is what it looks like on. You can see that it's quite long and we definitely need the zip in. So to start, I'm just unpicking the stitching at the waistband because I just want to remove what is remaining of the top out from the waistband itself. And then once that's out, I don't have to do too much other than just close it up because it's a nice finish. So yeah, I'm just unpicking and pulling it out as I'm going along. I'm by no means an expert. I've just sewn for many, many years. So I'm using this channel as my digital diary and also as a way to just progress and to show that progress in my sewing and share the journey with you all. And this is the finished look of the waistband, and this is the material that I've cut out. And overall, I'm quite happy with the size of it, so I won't make any further changes. So at this point, I'm just tidying it up now and just taking out any of the loose and remaining threads. So here I was just measuring off 6 inches from the hem and drawing out where I'm going to be folding the fabric. So that's what I'm just doing here. I did pin it to the size before I cut it because I wanted to make sure that when I tried it on, it was at a length that I was comfortable with. And since it was, I then moved on to just cut off the excess fabric. And this is the fabric that we have left over just from one leg. And I'm thinking to myself, I may make a bag or earrings or something matching, but I'm still deciding. Now I'm just folding along the hem. I've folded it twice so that it will have a neat finish for when I sew it and I don't need to do anything else like having to overlock it. So you can see it here, the unfinished ends are hidden. And for this, I'm just using a simple single stitch. Moving back to the waistband now. This may have been my second or third attempt at trying to sew it correctly and neatly. So as I'm sewing here, you'll notice that I'm having to pull the top layer to just line up with the bottom layer because I didn't like how it looked beforehand. It just weren't matching up. It just looked quite uneven. So learnt my lesson, I think the second or third time. So just trying to keep that neat. So that's going to be like one of the things I'm also working on is more attention to detail because when I sew, I can be a bit just maybe a bit haphazard for lack of a better term. And I want my sewing to get like neater and, you know, more to like a professional level. And this is the finished waistband close up. I am pretty happy with it. I just would have liked if the stitching was just more even because you can see where it kind of shifts a little bit, maybe like a millimeter or two. And now I'm finally adding on the zip. I actually had to wait maybe about a week for this color to come in. If I'm completely honest, I did actually struggle quite a bit with the zips. Zips are not something I actually used a lot in my sewing. So I realized I didn't use the right sewing foot for this initially. I didn't have the placement of the zip in the right place. And even when I was sewing, I needed to be a little bit more focused on what was happening with the fabric around it. So I did have to come back to it maybe 3, 4 times. Here I'm just checking how the zip is laying because I did have a bit of difficulty getting it as flat as I would like. At this point, I was just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this top part of the zip, whether I was going to cut it off if that would work, or if I should just fold it over and then sew over it. I still hadn't decided at that point, so I thought, let me just go in and I will just clean it up a little bit and just cut off the excess fabric towards the back of the zip. At this point, it was pretty much finished. I wanted to just have a quick try on and see how the zip was looking at the back. And honestly, I really didn't like it because here you can see it goes off at an angle. Either it looks a bit indented or what, but it's not straight. And then I still needed to finish the top of the zip. I realized I do have a zipper foot and I've just put it on now and I'm using that. And my goodness, it made sewing the zip so much easier. So I'm just finishing that up. And to be fair, I could have just unpicked that one small area, but I just wanted to redo the whole zip completely. And it was going well. It was so much easier with the zipper foot. But what I realized is at some point another piece of fabric got caught. So then I had to go back and unpick that and then resew. So I'm happy with how the zip is sewn on now, and I'm just going in just to tidy it up and just cutting off the extra pieces of thread and tidying up along the top. And to finish up the zip, I decided I was just going to use some fabric glue just to fold over and glue down the top half of the zip, and then use a single stitch just to go across it just to kind of match up with the waistband stitch. I will be honest, it is not a neat finish or even an even finish. The amount of reworking I had to do, I was kind of over it at this point. This is how we finished out. I just decided I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit, get rid of the excess thread and any of the excess material that was making it a little bit bulky, and try it on. And this is the finished look. Overall, I'm really happy with how it came out. I'm happy with how it sits at the waist. I'm happy with the flow and the length, and I love it. Thank you for watching.